Hello friends, welcome to the channel. Today we will discuss the next topic, that is what? Gauss-Seidel method. Okay, this is the another method comes under the iterative process. In the last class we have discussed about the Gauss-Jacobi method. Okay, so this is the modification of that method. So let's have a look on this method. So Gauss-Seidel method it is a most commonly used iterative method. Okay, it is an improved form of Jacobi method, yes, used to get the solution of a linear system. In the last class also we have discussed how to get the solution of a linear system using direct method and iterative method. Okay, it is also a pointwise method like the Jacobi method. Okay, the basic difference between the Gauss-Seidel and Jacobi method is what? Is that the Jacobi method uses the values obtained from the previous step, while the Gauss-Seidel method always updated values during the iterative procedures. What is this? We will see just now, don't worry. So this method is also known as the successive displacement method. Okay, this is the another name of this method. So let's see what is the procedure of this Gauss-Seidel method. So suppose I have a system given like this. You can see there is a 3x3 matrix. Okay, that means a linear system. Okay, so the starting procedure is same as we have done in the Gauss-Jacobi method. What is that? We have to go for the solution of this diagonal element, okay, by using these three equations. That means we have to get the value of x using this first equation, so you will get this kind of formation. Next, get the value of this y using the second equation, so this is the format for that. Next is what? Get the value of z of the third equation, you will get in this formation. Okay, so first of all convert the given equation into this, where you can get the solution in terms of x, y and z. Okay, after that we have to go for the initial approximation. You can go with any value for the initial approximation, but the thumb rule says that take the value as 0 for initial approximation. That means take x naught equals to y naught equals to z naught as 0. Okay, you can take any value, there is no problem. Now for the first iteration, when go for the first iteration, what does it says? Put the value of y naught and z naught as 0 as we have assumed. Okay, so with that value you can get the value of x1, that is your first iteration value. Okay, after that when you will go for the calculation of y1, keep the value of x and z in the equation here, but keep the value of x as x1. Whatever you are getting here, keep that value into this x. Okay, now we have the value of z as z0, so we'll keep that value only. So what is y1? Here we are replacing the x with x1, z with the z0. Okay, now next we got the value of x1 and y1. Okay, so for the calculation of z1 we can put the value of x as x1, y as y1. Okay, so this is what the value of z1. So here you can see in the first iteration only we are updating the values of the first iteration values for the next calculation also. Okay, that means we are updating it successively. Okay, not waiting for the next iteration. Successively we are updating the values, so named as what? This successive method. Okay, and because of this process, the convergence rate of this Gauss-Seidel method compared to the Gauss-Jacobi method is double, right? That means we will get the faster value, means the number of iteration will be less here. Okay, so this is the process for the first iteration x1, y1, z1. Now we have to repeat the same process in each iteration until we get the desired accuracy. Okay, that means in second iteration, third iteration we have to do the same thing. So what is that? Let's have a look using this problem. So what is the problem? That use the Gauss-Seidel method to obtain the solution of the given system. See, this is the given system. If you have watched the previous video about the Jacobi method, you can observe that we have taken the same system for a better comparison. Okay, so this is the same system we are working on. So first of all, what we have to do? We have to take the equation for x, y and z. Okay, so I have taken that values x, y and z, right? You can check Now assume the initial approximations, assumed it as the 0 value. So once we have completed this initial process, after that we can go for the first iteration. So what is my first iteration? We have to get the value of x1, y1 and z1, okay, using these three equations what we have just got. Okay, so here see, in the x value we should put the value of y and z. Okay, so what is y? That is y0 and z0, because the latest value for y0 z0 is 0 only, so we are keeping that value, so this come as the x1 value. Okay, now for the calculation of y1 we will put the value of x and z. Now z, the latest z is z0, but latest x is, that is x1. Okay, we have calculated here. So here I kept the value of x1 and z0. So this is the value for y1. Okay, this came as this much. Value for x, we have the value for y1. So for the calculation of z1 we can keep the value of x1 and y1. Okay, so I am replacing x with x1 and y with y1. So this is the value for z. Okay, so this is the successive process. Now in the second iteration what we will use? We will use the value of x1, y1, z1. So first of all, for calculation of x, I'll put y1 and z1. Once we put the value of y1, z1, I'll get the value of x2, right? So because I got the value of x2, that is updated value. So for next calculation, that is for y, I'll use the value of x2 and z1. Okay, you can check, this is the value of x2 and this is the value of z1. Okay, so this gives the value for y2, right? So this came as this much. Okay, so now we have the updated value of y2 and x2. So we can keep the value of x2, y2 for the calculation of z2. You can check here. So the value for z2 is coming as this much. So now similar process we have to do, right? So in third iteration I am using y2 and z2 for calculation of x3, but for calculation of y3 I am using what? The value of z2 and x3. Okay, and for calculation of z3 I am using x3 and y3, the updated one. In all step you should go with the updated one only. Okay, don't wait for the next iteration. As you got the answer, just keep that value in the next step. That is the successive process. So this is the output of this third iteration. Okay, now in fourth iteration, what is my values? The values are coming as x4, y4, z4. In the similar process, the values are coming like this. Okay, so you can see we are getting the very high accuracy values. The actual solution for this given system is this only, that is what? 3, minus 2.5 and 7. Okay, so that actual value we are getting in just fourth iteration. And in Jacobi iteration you have seen, if you have seen, you can go and check that we are not getting this much of accuracy at the 8th iteration also. Okay, because we got the repetition in the after decimal digits, so we have stopped our iteration, but that value was not the exact value. So this is the difference between this Jacobi method and Gauss-Seidel method. Okay, Gauss-Seidel method gives the highest accuracy in the solution in less number of iteration. Okay, that's why in application also Gauss-Seidel method is highly used, right? So this is the solution. Okay, thank you everyone. If you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe the channel for the daily updates. Okay, thank you.